hair. Come on.
I just want a budget for a blowout.
I will teach you how to blow dry your hair.
You need to. I don't even own a blow dryer.
You've told me that before, and that is like really crazy.
Isn't it crazy?
Me.
I just raw dog it every day.
Okay.
Hope for the best. Air drying all day. I do love that. We've talked about it before, but these Crown Affair air dry mousse products. They're nice.
Yeah, no, look, there are ways to do it, but I can, there's a way that you can have a blowout without paying like $80 for someone to blow dry your hair.
You're going to have to show me
I'll blow dry your hair.
I'd be honored.
Look, if there's one thing I got out of going to an all-girls school, I can blow dry hair and I can French braid.
That's all you need to know.
So, all right, let's see how that sounded.
Okay. That was a normal intro.
Did you think that I was going to do a weird one?
I thought about it, but we've been chatting a lot before we recorded, so I feel like you kind of got it out of your system. The weird ones, even though you weren't saying hello in strange ways during our chit chat.
I did do a voice at one point.
You did,
I think.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think that's accurate.
How are you?
I'm good.
I'm so excited because we just recorded an episode for later in the week with the one and only Kelsey McKinney, who is the co-creator of the podcast Normal Gossip.
Which is incredible if you have not listened to it.
Wrote this book. You didn't hear this from me, so stay tuned. And also, if you could subscribe to all of our channels, ideally, or at least the one you listen on, you'll get notified when that episode and all the other episodes go live.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of lovely new reviews on Apple. Thank you so much. If you have not rated and reviewed us on Apple Podcasts, please do it. It makes a huge difference. And also on Spotify. I don't think you can leave a nice little review there, however, but the rating really helps us.
Yes, because once again, we're doing this ourselves. Okay. All right. So this week we got a lot of stuff. We had so much stuff this week that we had to cut stuff.
We did.
From the lineup. We had to cut our roster down.
We did. We had to cut a couple of walk-ons.
Exactly.
I guess
At our
you would be
prestigious
cutting a
university.
We got to redshirt a couple ideas.
We did. We had to redshirt a couple ideas. They may or may not come back. But we're going to start with a couple cute little announcements.
Yeah. A couple baby announcements, not from us.
No.
Just want to clarify that.
For the record, for athletes.
U.S. women's national team star Sophia Smith is pregnant and having a baby with Arizona Cardinals wide receiver Michael Wilson.
Here's the thing. We are in an age where athletes are breeding super athletes.
They are.
My children, when I have them, don't stand a chance athletically because there are enough professional athletes my age or younger now who are having children where they're just, the genes are...
Can't compete.
And my husband's very athletic, and I'm not unathletic, but...
You're athletic.
Yeah, but like not Sophia Smith
That's
athletic,
true. That's fair. Neither am I. No.
So...
Well, I'm sure they're going to have a superstar soccer or football player on their hands.
Very excited for them.
And then another couple is having a baby in the world of sports. Is influencer, former Miss Universe, I think. Reality TV show star at one point, Olivia Culpo, is pregnant and having a baby with San Francisco 49ers player Christian McCaffrey.
Congrats, you guys. Two things I would like to say about these two announcements. They were the two most, I think, standard kind of athlete pregnancy announcements. I know you've done a deep dive into athlete weddings, but I think the pregnancy announcement is also sort of this cultural thing in sports where Sophia and Michael had a classic in-studio portrait.
Yeah.
And Olivia and Kristin had a black and white photo shoot and also then a short video with, like the light flares in it, and she's wearing the white dress. And,
yes, and they're like walking through a field or something.
Yeah.
Well, funny you should bring that up because I am working on a deep dive into this Firm Personal Foul, my newsletter. Spoiler alert.
Sorry, I should have known.
Spoiler alert. I don't know when I'm going to finish it, but now I'm motivated to finish it.
Please,
but yes,
I want to read it.
There are definitely some aesthetics that are, I think they parallel the presentation of flowers and athlete weddings in a lot of interesting ways.
Yes.
Kind of a lot of similar like color tones, like these white and green colors, and then like these wispy, like grassy motifs.
Yeah, and what people think of when, I don't know, these things are like so out of my wheelhouse because personally, I can't think of anything that would mortify me more than like being videotaped. How do you say it? Filmed.
Videotape.
Like walking through a field in general.
No.
Like regardless of whether I'm pregnant or not.
No,
so
thanks.
you have to be built for it.
You have to be built for it. It certainly is a type of
Exactly.
person. You got to love it.
And I think that there's just a lot of subcategories within there.
Yeah.
And I respect it deeply.
I respect it deeply, and I consume all of the content.
Same.
So,
also,
what?
I remember how we did our mailbag episode, and one of the questions was, what event do you wish you'd had this podcast for?
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't believe I forgot to say Olivia Culpo and Christian McCaffrey's wedding.
In Rhode Island.
Last summer?
Yes.
At the Ocean House, which is a place I've been lucky enough to stay. And the controversy surrounding her dress.
Oh, Dressgate.
Because she said, when I think about Christian and what he loves and the moments that he thinks I'm most beautiful, it's absolutely in something like this: timeless, covered, and elegant. And she wore, like a long sleeve thing. And that was only part of it. But I just could have dissected those photos until the cows came home.
For sure. And she ended up getting into an argument and back and forth with, I believe, a couple TikTok creators who were dissecting her dress. And I don't even think they were being that mean about it, but it became a whole thing. And then Christian McCaffrey got involved and was saying stuff like, you're evil. I think they were like, you're evil or something like that about this TikTok creator. Don't quote me on that, but it was something like that.
No, I think it was like, how can you walk this earth bearing the evil of gossip upon you? And you're like, what? I'm talking about your dress.
It kind of reminds me how they speak on Severance.
Yes.
Right?
Well, because it's just like quasi-religious, but like but not religious. Like this, like,
for art thou evil gossip.
Yes, thou art Q would not approve of your dress. And you're like,
you're frolicking in that dress.
Yeah. It was crazy.
It was crazy. That would have been great to have this podcast for that moment. That is a great point. I really
would have loved that. And also, like, so many of his teammates went.
Right.
And, like, she had a whole thing when they landed. There was, like, Mrs. spelled out in flowers. Speaking of flowers.
Speaking of flowers.
Anyways. Really went down a rabbit hole about that one at the time. So, anyway, speaking of the 49ers, Madeline, did you see that Kirstin Juszczyk? Never know how to say it because it's a lot of consonants in a row. Her husband, Kyle, and the reason people know Kirstin Juszczyk is because she started the brand Offseason, and she was the one who was making those amazing puffer coats out of jerseys and sewing them herself. Like,
they're so good.
Really, really talented woman. And I'm only aware of Kyle Juszczyk because of his wife, but apparently the Niners are cutting him a year shy of his 10-year tenure at the Niners when they like induct you into the 10-year of honor or something. So
no, why would they do that?
Because I don't think they want to pay him money.
Couldn't they just pay him like the league minimum to just stick around for a year?
They already did that. Well, not the minimum. He took a pay cut already. And now it's probably like, well, I can't. You can only do that so many times with the same
it's a little
team.
painful. So is he going to retire or is he just going to help his wife's new business?
No, he's 33 and he was like, I haven't slowed down at all. Look at my stats. Like, seemed very defensive about it. So I think he'll be back on the field.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess he may not be playing for the 49ers though in the future.
Yeah.
It's kind of the end of that.
I know. So we'll see where maybe this is what Kristin will make some really cool new team like merch she hasn't made before because of the fresh creative experience.
The creative experience on this week's episode of Severance
that she will gain from being with another franchise. All right.
Alrighty. Switching gears to a different sport.
What?
The NBA.
Ooh.
We need to talk about the fight heard around the world between Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James and sports media personality Stephen A. Smith.
This is... Thank God we have the show for this, all I can say.
Thank God.
If this happened before we had the show, I would say I wish we'd had the show for the LeBron-Stephen A. fight.
I know. It's true. So based on the footage, it looks like LeBron comes up to Stephen A. Smith after a Lakers home game and confronts him, and they're like kind of going at it and spatting, it seems.
Yeah, it was all over social media, these videos, and LeBron sort of goes at it, and ESPN commentator, ESPN talking head, Stephen A. Smith is ESPN, and he just got a $100 million contract extension for 5 years to do less work than he's currently doing, which is the dream.
Incredible.
So,
incredible work.
Congrats to him. He also has his own podcast and everything, and was like, I'm going to run for president. And it's like,
maybe don't do that.
Too much happening. Anyway, so that is to set the stage. Also, Stephen A. on First Take the morning after this happened made a whole big deal about LeBron confronting him. And apparently the confrontation was about LeBron's son, Bronny, who plays for the G League Lakers and was drafted last year. And there was a whole big deal about Bronny being drafted, even though he wasn't like a great player, but it was a 55th pick, so who cared, blah, blah. A lot of people had a lot of opinions. And Stephen A. on First Take makes a big deal of saying he was at the game with Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel and Larry David, the Seinfeld creator and Curb Your Enthusiasm creator.
And may I interject here and say that Ari Emanuel is the famous superstar agent who the show Entourage is based on, basically. And also, Ari Emanuel is married to the designer of Staud. Do you know that brand?
Are you kidding me?
They had a huge wedding in like the south of France. It was in vogue.
Wait,
if you know, you know.
I get the Staud texts incessantly.
Yeah, I do want those boots.
Danielle Staud? Is
something
that her name?
Staud? I don't know.
Wait, she's married?
She's married to Ari Emanuel. They had a huge star-studded bash for their wedding. Yeah, fun fact.
Everything makes just a
sorry.
lot more sense.
Had to interject.
No, thank you. I needed that. So this confrontation, according to Stephen A., he was fiery, Smith said on his podcast, talking of LeBron. LeBron approached me during the game and he said, "Stop effing with my son. That's my effing son. Stop effing with my son." Smith says that he told LeBron, "What?" And LeBron replied, No, man to man, real talk, stop effing with my son.
Which, as a dad, I get it.
Yep.
If my son was being talked about by essentially the face of ESPN ad nauseum, I'd also probably be pretty bummed about it. But I also think what's maybe going on here, my own theory,
okay,
hear me out, is I think LeBron is maybe realizing in real time, I could be wrong, that maybe behind the scenes he was pushing Bronny to leave college to go to the NBA, you know, so they could have this moment together, because who knows how much longer LeBron's going to play for. I think Bronny had, 2 years left of eligibility as a college player?
Maybe even 3.
Maybe 3, because he had that
I think he played a year.
Yeah, maybe it was just a year that he played. That I think maybe deep down LeBron knows that it was a mistake, and that if Bronny had continued playing in college and developed a little bit more as a college player for a little bit longer, one, I think there'd probably be less media attention connected to Bronny as a college player, because he's not in the NBA. Mm-hmm. You know, he would just be just like another college player, right, and would maybe get some chatter here and there, but it would not be the extent that we see now. Mm-hmm. And that maybe LeBron deep down knows that he did a little bit too much fatherly pushing to have Bronny leave college to go play in the NBA.
That is
I don't know.
No, because I think there's an aspect of this where, and we talked about this in the episode that's going to come out later this week, of like, when you put something out in public, when an athlete or a celebrity posts something, when they do something, when they make a big show of something, that's kind of fair game to talk about. Yeah. And by kind of, I mean, it is.
Right.
And like, LeBron knew the media attention that was going to come from playing with his son. And he knew what he was doing. And maybe you're right. Maybe this is an element of him being like, oh, I created this monster and it's now on me to try to stop it. So he's trying to go up to people.
Yeah.
But that is only making it worse.
And it makes it worse for Bronny. Like, could you imagine how, I'm sure Bronny's embarrassed that his dad did that. No matter whether Bronny, you think he's good or not, or he's going to be a good NBA player or not, doesn't really matter. But could you imagine how embarrassing it would be for your dad to go up to like a media personality saying, "Stop talking about my son," when you didn't ask him to do that?
I mean, but like, what if he did ask him to?
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
okay,
I guess
you're right.
I just have, because personally, when we think about this, it's like, oh God, this whole experience seems kind of mortifying. And like, when you looked at Bronny's face, we talked about this on our show, when the first game where it was him and LeBron, and Bronny's like, you couldn't really read what was going on. Maybe he loved it. Maybe it's just great. But that's what's so confusing about this whole thing. And also, Stephen A. claims that he was like, I never talked shit about Bronny, which, so, okay, this story progresses, and we'll come back to this, because at the Lakers-Celtics game, which was the viewership was crazy, right? On Saturday night.
It was 4.61 million viewers, making it the most watched regular season NBA game in 7 years, excluding Christmas Day.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow. Because, of course,
viewers.
It's Lakers Celtics, which is obviously a huge deal. And it's in Boston. And it's the first time that Boston fans would see Luka Doncic as a Laker since he got traded from the Mavs. So, okay, before the game, everyone's chatting. The ESPN broadcasters are standing around. Doris Burke, Mike Breen, Richard Jefferson. Richard Jefferson played with LeBron James on the Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron comes up behind Richard Jefferson and like puts him in a headlock, and they're laughing and joking around and then have a little conversation. And ESPN put this clip out on ESPN's social, being like, what a great moment. You know, you always want to show like the hugest player in the world coming up to your guys.
Right.
Great. But someone did some lip reading. And here is what LeBron was saying to Richard Jefferson, probably about Stephen A. Smith, saying, that's the only thing I'm tripping. LeBron appears to say, I don't give a fuck, pardon me. Once he talks about, quote, I'm pleading with you as a father, I can't.
Whoa.
So LeBron's like, once Stephen A. starts saying, I'm pleading with you like I mean, I don't know what Richard said. We don't know. So it's only this side of the conversation. But ESPN put this out, and then that added fuel to the fire because they didn't realize that people could hear what they were saying.
Right. It's a snowball effect. I feel like
totally.
LeBron just like opened a can of worms by going to confront Stephen A. at the game.
And then ESPN, by not listening to the audio, which is wild.
Or maybe they knew and they were like, this clip is going to kill.
That is so. Maybe they showed it to Stephen A. and we're like, do you want us to put this out?
Yeah.
Because then he could talk about it again.
Correct.
So then Stephen A., of course, has to say something about the Richard Jefferson interaction. And he says on his podcast, I believe, but then something happened. Something happened and a light bulb hit my ear. Which, first of all, a new saying just dropped.
Never heard that one before, Stephen A.
A light bulb hit my ear. No, 10 out of 10, no notes.
It's a Severance-esque phrase, I would actually say.
Yeah. It's
unbelievable.
So, and Stephen A. says, and that was him with Richard Jefferson when he sat up there and said, when I was talking as a dad, I can't. So it wasn't about Bronny, it was about him. Once he said as a father, that was about him. And so then Stephen A. goes on to say that he has always been talking about LeBron when talking about Bronny. LeBron is a father, or LeBron.
Okay.
I'm so confused.
I'm confused. I need one of those murder mystery charts.
But
the murder wall.
Here's the thing. We have one. I just don't think it makes sense.
It doesn't make sense. Ultimately, I think LeBron, like I said, realizes that he maybe messed up pushing his kid into the NBA when he ultimately wasn't ready and needed more time developing in college. And maybe for Bronny to just be a college student for a little while longer before being shoved like a light bulb.
Like a light bulb hitting your ear.
Yeah, and ultimately, I think LeBron is just like maybe realizing that he messed up, and then LeBron just kind of opened the can of worms more.
I could also see LeBron still thinking like, I think that's super possible. I also think there's a possibility LeBron's like, yeah, we did exactly the right thing, so shut up because I'm the king.
He
like
is the king.
There could be an element of this where he's just like, who are you to talk about my family? But also, if you go galaxy brain, he has to know that if he says this to Stephen A., Stephen A. will talk about it more.
Correct.
So is LeBron trying to get Stephen A. to talk about it? And if so, why?
Why?
These are the questions
of our day.
The Stephen A. fight with LeBron is a mystery box show in the way that Severance is a mystery box show.
Correct. Free Gemma.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
Free Gemma.
I just love a good sports media beef, especially when it involves, the most famous athlete of our time.
Oh, it's so good.
And I do think that Stephen A. has done a very good job of capitalizing on this.
I mean, as he should.
He is the master of this. So it's just like watching a really great potter make a beautiful
sculpture
form.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Also, though, Madeline, I went to Reddit to see what people were saying about the LeBron Stephen A. fight. And the first comment that I saw was from someone who says, y'all talk like you're watching Real Housewives instead of basketball. And then someone responded to that and said, my dude, it's the same shit.
Correct.
Sports is just reality TV for men. The world makes more sense once you realize that. And I would just like to say, gentlemen, you might like to listen to the Sports Gossip Show.
You might like our show.
We're here for you.
Come on in. The water's warm.
It's beautiful.
Wow, I love that.
Validation.
It is validation. That's true. Anyways, in different sports news, the Philadelphia 76ers were booed at a WWE SmackDown in Philly. Oh, God. Did you see this?
Yeah.
Poor guys. Oh. They're not doing so hot.
The Sixers are very bad. Joel Embiid is out for the season.
Is this not like the 8th time he's been out for something, or more of an 8th time? This poor guy.
I know.
I feel like he needs to not play basketball anymore.
I think
start a lifestyle brand. Start a newsletter like Haley Steinfeld.
Exactly. Joelle Society. She's got Bo Society. He's got Joelle Society.
I would love that.
Pivot to lifestyle.
I would love that.
The Sixers, after being talked about as can they win a title this year, because they had Joel Embiid and they went out and they got Paul George and Tyrese Maxey is this young star. They're all hurt. And they're 22-42 is their win to loss record, and they're 12th in the East. And WWE likes to bring out other stars, like athletes in the city that they're going to. But I think if you're in Philly, and I say this as a compliment to Philly fans, if you are an event that's taking place in Philly and you're like, let's bring out some Philly athletes, I think you got to make sure that the team those athletes are on is successful.
Yeah.
Because otherwise those Philly fans are going to let you know that they do not approve of the job that those athletes are doing.
Yeah, like bring out some Eagles players. They don't even have to be the stars of the Eagles. They can be like the third string. Who cares? Just bring them out instead. They just won a Super Bowl. Don't bring out your losing NBA team.
Yeah, it's a slam dunk.
Yeah.
Touchdown.
It's a body slam on the mat.
It's a slam on the ear.
Slam on the ear.
Light bulb on the ear. I was trying to do a callback. Didn't work. God damn it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree. They brought out they did a wrong booking job.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
The casting department
screwed up.
Oh, man. You know how we talk about teams as companies?
Yeah.
We should talk about appearances as like casting. And the casting directors are the marketing people.
They are. It's true.
They should have cast better.
Maybe
that's
next
some
time.
Real Philly sports fandom, though. That's the good stuff.
That is the good stuff.
Or the bad stuff.
Or the bad. Who knows?
Anyway, I know this is what we're really dying to talk about.
Oh, yes. So if you know anything about tennis, there's a tennis tournament at Indian Wells in Palm Springs or Palm Springs adjacent. And it can be kind of like a celeb-y event. Like if you live in LA and you want to go, it's not like the US Open, but you can see a lot of big stars play tennis there in like a smaller setting. And also the tickets are not a gajillion dollars.
Right.
So that's the perks of going. Also, it's Palm Springs this time of year, which is a nice time to go. If you
Lovely.
know, you know. Our man, Timothée Chalamet, Justice for Timmy with the Oscars, by the way. I didn't talk about this.
We didn't talk about the Oscars at all.
No. Oh, wait, was that last? Oh, my God, we did
That was
talk
last
about
week.
the Oscars.
Adam Sandler did his little basketball bit.
Oh, my God, wait. Oh, wow, we totally forgot to talk about that.
I wish that Timothée Chalamet had won Best Actor instead of Adrian Brody.
1,000,000%. That 5-minute speech from Adrian Brody.
I think about that sometimes, and I get angry. He made them stop playing the music to play him off, and then continued to sort of stammer his way. And I was like, how dare you think you deserve more time?
Correct.
Than anyone else.
And you know that Timmy's speech would have been so good.
He would have talked about sports.
He would have talked about sports, and he would have talked about like New York City.
Yes.
Theater, LaGuardia High School.
He would have been like, first
statistics.
I'm winning, and next up the Knicks.
Yeah, no, literally. He would have given such a good speech. Kylie Jenner would have been there, like insane. So justice for Timmy. But here's the thing: we know about the Oscars; they historically don't like giving Best Actor to a young male lead. I mean, look at Leonardo DiCaprio. It took him until The Revenant, which he should have won it before that.
That was a makeup Oscar.
It was amazing.
I never saw The Revenant. I think it was probably deserving.
He was fine in it, but like it was not his performance that should have won him an Oscar. I mean, he deserved to win an Oscar.
I mean, you could go all the way back to What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Titanic. Ever heard of it?
There we go.
He died. Titanic.
He died.
Do you know how hard it is to act being dead when you're an alive person? Oh my God.
Yeah, well, he won the Oscar eventually.
Yeah.
Do you remember when, this is such a side tangent.
No, I love it.
Do you remember when there was a time in LA in like 2006, 2007, when Toyota,
where are we going with this?
Toyota tapped a bunch of actors to drive Priuses. It was like early Priuses. Obviously, global warming is real. And so it was this movement. They got like celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio, who were like environmentalists, environmental activists, to drive Priuses when Priuses were really expensive.
You mean just in general to drive them, not like drive them to the Oscars?
No. It was just like, I remember.
Like you have a Prius now as your car.
You have a Prius. I remember I swear there are paparazzi photos of Leonardo DiCaprio driving a Prius. Anyone else remember this?
No, I
Maybe
don't.
If I'm making this up in my head. I think I'm correct that this happened.
If you're making this up, that would be funnier than it actually happening. That would be so weird.
No, I'm pretty positive it happened.
I believe you.
Yeah. Anyways.
I believe.
Wow, that's why I was just thinking about that.
Wow.
Climate change is real.
Yeah. Prius is great. Maybe he still has it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no,
he definitely doesn't.
Anyway.
Anyways, let me go back to what I was trying to explain. So Timothée Chalamet went to Indian Wells, a tennis tournament, with none other than his girlfriend, Kylie Jenner. Did you see this?
Yeah. Oh,
they look like they were having the time of their life in that box.
Yes. However.
Oh.
Did you see the video?
I saw a video and they're like chatting.
Did you see the one where she tries to kiss him?
I saw one where they're trying to kiss and they're taking a photo.
Yeah. So,
which I could never do that with my husband.
Never.
Could you, like, it's like a fake kiss for the camera?
She like grabs his chin.
I couldn't do it.
And he is trying to watch the tennis match. And so he's looking to the side as she's kissing him with her eyes open, looking at the camera. And it was the funniest interaction. And then she starts rubbing his stomach.
Yes, I saw that.
And someone did some lip reading. The Daily Mail got a lip reading expert.
Classic.
So this was during a match between Holger Rune of Denmark and France's Ugo Humbert. Ugo Humbert. I don't know. So the lip reading expert says that after the kiss, or while they're kissing, she says eye contact, and Timmy says go on, and then he says yum, yep, and then he sits back in his chair and he said ow, like he bonked into something or something. And Kylie goes, are you okay? And then she began stroking his stomach, and Timothée says, no problem, I'm good, don't worry about it, like sort of joke, like no, I'm good, don't worry about it. And then he says to Kylie, watch the point. And then he's like, how can you miss that? And he stands up. I don't know. It was so weird.
It's so weird. I can't imagine, maybe I'm wrong, but I can't imagine Kylie Jenner is the biggest sports fan. I don't see it for her. I don't think she's dated many athletes. Kendall has dated a couple of athletes.
Yes.
Or maybe I'm just thinking of Devin Booker. No, I think she dated someone else, but I don't remember who it is.
All of the Kardashians, except seemingly for Kylie, have dated athletes.
Right. I mean, maybe she's the biggest sports fan by not dating athletes. Interesting, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
So maybe that's like a little bit of a rift in their relationship that, like, I mean, we know Timothée Chalamet, a huge sports fan.
Yeah.
So
did his own picks on College Game Day and went 6 for 7.
Never forget.
It's pretty funny to think about Timmy if Kylie Jenner indeed does not enjoy it. And part of the reason I think we're saying this is because during a point, Timmy's locked in and Kylie's trying to get a photo op,
right?
Which I also understand because that's what you do when you're an influencer and you go to a sports game. But like usually it would be between sets or like games or whatever. So if this is true, the thought of Timmy like dragging her to different sports games is so funny. He's like, hear me out.
I love it.
Tennis, Indian Wells. And she's like, oh, okay.
She's like, my parents have a house in Palm Springs, so I guess we'll go there.
She's like, Kendall, do you want to come?
Yeah.
Can you take some photos of us?
You know what's funny is, especially with tennis is a very rule following sport as a spectator. Like you can only sit down in your seat at certain points, like in between games, like things like there's a lot of rules. Mm-hmm. And so I wonder if maybe she just doesn't know the tennis protocol.
It seems like not. But the whole video, I've watched it so many times.
Yeah.
He's also wearing leather pants in Palm Springs.
So insane. I mean, it's probably not like that hot, but that is an insane choice.
Maybe, I don't know.
But no, you know what? It probably was hot because isn't she wearing a short sleeve shirt? that's like kind of like tied up.
Yeah.
So it was probably hot. Maybe he was sweating and he was uncomfortable.
Maybe that's what was happening.
I don't know. Maybe he was just overstimulated in leather pants in the heat.
Who among us?
Who among us? I mean, I don't own leather pants for that reason.
Neither do I.
I would get hot in 1 second.
I am very particular about my pants.
Me too.
I don't like being hot in pants.
Nope.
I don't like them being tight around the waist when I don't want them to be tight around the waist.
Nope. Give me a loose pant. Love a loose pant.
Love a loose
little
pant.
Linen pant.
Palazzo.
Oh, sign me up.
Anyway, what do you think the best sporting event to see Timmy and Kylie at would be? Because have we seen them at a Knicks game? He's definitely been courtside.
I would love to see them courtside at a Knicks game. Weirdly, I think I would actually like to see them at like a Mets game.
Oh, yeah.
Just at like eating a hot dog, eating a frozen lemonade.
I think we should try to manifest, like, it's like a bingo card, or like when you're keeping score at a baseball game, like which major sports have Timmy and Kylie been, like, go to a Liberty game this summer.
Oh, yeah.
Like, go to, like, we got to see them at every major, like, Giants in the fall, you know? They have to hit every major sports league.
Every single one. I agree.
They should, honestly, if we see them at the Final Four, women's Final Four.
Whoa, yeah.
I don't care about the men's.
No, but I would love to see that. Yeah.
Be fun.
That'd be fun. Wow. Anyways.
All right.
I don't know if you saw this video. Speaking of Final Four, actually, sort of.
Oh, yeah. I like what you did there.
Bill Belichick, the new UNC football head coach, was at a UNC basketball game with his 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, who we have talked about extensively on this podcast.
Very locked in.
And there is a video of him shaking hands with football recruits.
No.
And Jordan is next to him, also looking like she's like trying to shake their hand or something,
No.
like a politician's wife.
Oh my God, show me.
Okay, so if you're listening, I'm showing Charlotte this video.
Okay. Oh, he's dapping him up. Wow.
Bill Belichick is dapping up the players, and there's Jordan kind of standing a little awkwardly next to...
in a UNC blue leather jacket.
Correct. And as they walk by, she's just kind of smiling at them, and it just has her hands down, and I think she's trying to greet these players, but doesn't really know what to do. But it feels like something a politician's wife would want to do.
Totally. It seems like she doesn't know if she can, like, get in or... Oh, she just talked to one of them. See? She taps one of them.
Yep.
Oh my God, they could be older than she is.
I think
because of redshirting and COVID protocols, some of those players could be older. She's 24.
I don't like that.
Oh, that just really blew my mind. Yeah. There was also a video of them walking into the arena. Did you see this one?
No.
Okay, pull that one up.
Okay.
I'll show you this one now.
Okay,
you see?
Okay, they're walking into the arena.
And she's holding his hand, and he's trying to talk to sort of an entourage of people around him. But his gait does not look as steady as I've seen it before.
He doesn't.
And she's leading him by the hand. And there's another angle that you can really see him kind of... He's like lumbering more than usual. Almost.
Limping no, almost? He looks like he's limping. Oh, no. Is he injured? Or maybe he's just getting old.
I couldn't tell you, but Jordan's ability to insert herself into every single situation blows my mind.
Blows my mind. Because it's funny. It's like, this is a work event for Bill.
Yes.
Jordan is not employed by UNC that we know of. Maybe she is.
Oh, my God.
Hadn't considered that.
Is she on the payroll? It's a public university. We could
look this up.
Somehow. I don't know how.
We'll try to figure this out. Anyways, but it's like, do you need to bring your significant other to every single one of your work events?
No. And like he never did before.
No.
And so she is just like infiltrated and got herself into this world.
Yes.
Also, Madeline, remember how last week we said that we were pretty sure the reason UNC Hard Knocks was not happening was because the creative control issues were actually code for Jordan Hudson wanted to be more involved in some capacity?
Yeah.
I heard...
What?
From a source, very trusted, that is the truth.
What?
I reached out to some people at UNC to try to confirm this. Have not heard back.
Oh my God.
But I don't think we were too far off.
Are we breaking news?
It's not confirmed. No, because
alleged news?
Alleged, not confirmed. Just saying.
Whoa. I mean, if it's true, we were right.
And if it's not, tell us and we'll say the real thing. But nobody got back to me.
Wow. So. Wow. Well, I think that rumor may be true. Again, we don't know, but it feels like it might be.
Just asking the questions.
Asking the questions.
Just
asking for a comment.
Request it. Respond to my request for comment. Anyway,
like and subscribe.
So, what else you got for me?
Oh, this is a quick thing.
Yeah.
Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts was spotted having dinner with legendary GOAT debate icon Michael Jordan. I don't know where they were. Somewhere.
Wow.
They were eating dinner, and it does make sense because Jalen Hurts, he is a Jordan brand athlete.
Yes, recently became one.
Yes. They had some great ads that came out of that. I don't know if you saw. They were good.
Where it was like something about like hate that blah, 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 hate, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And love, hurts. Like,
yeah.
Wait. What is the love? Oh, love hurts. That's like the bit. Sorry. I was like, it's not Jordan Love. It's Jalen Hurts. And then I got all confused.
No, I love those ads. But it also, I feel like it tracks that they would hang out. I mean, obviously, if I was invited to go have dinner with Michael Jordan, I would go. I think anyone would go have dinner with Michael Jordan.
Yeah. He's like, listen, there are these two gals. They've got a show called The Sports Gossip Show. Really digging it. They've talked about my son and his ex-girlfriend. Would love to sit down
Michael
with them
Jordan,
for a meal.
come on the pod.
Could you imagine doesn't like steak that much, though? So I'll eat a steak with you, but we got to go to a place that has good
chicken
sides.
or something. Michael Jordan, come on the pod. Could you imagine if we were like our next guest is Michael Jordan? I would love
this
that.
week we have a very exciting guest coming up. You know him from his time with the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan.
It's crazier the more we say it.
That is that gets funnier every time.
It's funnier every time.
You might know him from the documentary The Last Dance. Michael Jordan.
You might know him as former co-owner of the Charlotte Hornets, Michael Jordan.
You might know him as the faceless star of Air, starring Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. It's Michael Jordan.
You might know him as the star of the 90s hit Space Jam, Michael Jordan.
Toon Squad. Yeah, he's Michael Jordan. You have an open invite to
come on the pod. Come on the pod.
Do you want to hear something really funny?
What?
Over the weekend, I learned that someone who is doing work for a family friend of ours, the contractor's name or the guy or whoever it is, his name is Michael Jordan.
Oh my God, what a terrible name to have.
And he's older than Michael Jordan, so like it happened before Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that would be a bummer to have the same name as.
You could say he is the Michael Jordan of contracting.
He's the GOAT.
He is.
Wow.
He is the Michael Jordan of.
He is technically. Wow.
Just funny to think of guys who have the same name as other guys.
That would just be a bummer if you had the same. If anyone knows anyone who has the same name as a celebrity, or let us know.
There's famously, I think, another Tom Brady out there.
Oh,
there have to be so many.
Oh, that'd be terrible. But maybe you'll get you some perks at times.
Yeah, or you're just right, exactly. You call and say, Tom Brady would like to come in for dinner, and they're like, absolutely.
Like,
and then this guy from Chicago
right
walks in.
Right this way.
Right this, sir.
Come on in. Come on the pod.
Have you ever tried to get a reservation by saying you are someone's like calling up a place and being like, my boss is going to kill me if I don't get them this reservation?
No, but I feel like I should try that because maybe that would get us into some restaurants like the Corner Store, which we talked about many months ago. Still haven't invited us in.
It has not worked for me.
Hasn't worked
in the past.
No.
So I mean, I haven't tried in a little while.
Maybe we should try.
I know someone who made up a very specific assistant name and calls as the assistant. So if we called and we're like, my name is Winifred. I am the booker assistant for the Sports Gossip Show. My bosses really want to come into your restaurant. Can you help me out?
Okay. Then maybe we can do that.
Is that ethical? I don't know.
Who cares? Who cares? The reservation industry is not ethical
Charles
right now.
Prime.
Exactly.
Is that what it's called?
I think something like that.
For Prime.
For who cares? Anyways,
you wrote a newsletter this week that I devoured the minute it hit my inbox. Can you talk to me about this? What is it? A Canadian snowboarder who's on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list?
Correct. So a 2002 Olympic athlete named Ryan Wedding from Canada was a snowboarder on the team. He did an event, I believe it was called like athletic slalom something. Men's athletic slalom.
Slalom?
Something slalom. I don't know. Don't ask me what a slalom is, but it's something.
Slalom is when you like go back. Back
Anyways, so prosecutors allege that Wedding operated a $1 billion criminal enterprise. Billion with a capital B.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Billion. Billions.
That is so many dollars. Okay.
It's so many dollars. Moving 54 tons of cocaine between Colombia, Mexico, the United States, and Canada from 2011 to 2024.
Oh my God.
He was known by nicknames including El Jefe and Public Enemy. He allegedly is responsible for 3 murders, but prosecutors do believe that he was maybe involved in some more. Those are just the confirmed ones. It is
a snowboarder.
You can't make this up.
That's like the opposite of like, gonna go shred. Like, I'm chill. That's the opposite of chill.
That is so the opposite of chill. I was doing a deep dive on this story. You can read it in my newsletter, but he was like involved with like Russian drug dealers, Iranian, like all these different people. And now he's on the FBI's 10 most wanted list, obviously. And prosecutors believe that he is currently being helped by the Mexican cartel to hide out.
Wow. Oh my God.
Coming to Netflix this fall.
1,000. Have they already cast Channing Tatum as Ryan Wedding?
He would be a great casting because this guy, this guy Ryan is 6'3", white guy with like, he looks like blue eyes maybe, and he has a mustache. Channing Tatum totally could play him.
It would be...
Totally could play him.
We're just giving away ideas.
We are giving away free ideas. My favorite part of this story were some of the quotes from these federal officers.
Yeah.
So the assistant director for FBI's Los Angeles field office said, they make me chuckle. Quote, Wedding went from shredding powder on the slopes at the Olympics to distributing powder cocaine on the streets of U.S. cities and in his native Canada.
Oh, no.
And then the joke really should have died, but they continued with a DEA agent saying, quote, the former Canadian snowboarder unleashed an avalanche of death and destruction here and abroad.
Oh, that's awful.
You know, those two are like gunning for their talking head interviews in a Netflix documentary series about this.
Do you think they workshopped that? I feel like they were probably sitting around the office being like, hey, yo, Tony, what do you think about this? Avalanche, that's a snowboard thing, right? And then someone else is like, I was thinking more of shredding powder. I don't know why they have that accent in this scenario, but they had to have an accent.
They had to have an accent.
So, wow, okay. Also feel like they could have even done better, but like maybe they just shouldn't have done anything.
Maybe they should have just given normal quotes about
maybe
them.
That's the answer.
Because it's also like, I feel like by adding in the puns, sure, it's kind of fun, but he also is responsible for murdering people.
Right. You know what?
And running $1 billion criminal enterprise.
Yeah. You know what isn't a time to maybe be like, try to be punny or get a dad joke in is when you're talking about someone who is on the FBI's 10 most wanted list.
Correct. Like, maybe let's not joke about this. This guy means business. He's a serious, criminal.
As the federal agents who are joking about it, you're like,
what?
I
know. It's crazy. It is one of the most shocking stories I think I've heard in sports in a long time, and I think we see a lot of shocking stories.
Yeah, I also think I would not, if you said to me, like, hey, what nationality and what sport do you think would be someone running $1 billion cocaine, murder, like very, very bad stuff?
Right.
I just probably wouldn't say Canadian snowboarder.
No. Not first.
There's not anything that I would say in particular either. It just, Canadian snowboarder is like.
You don't associate that with like Mexican drug cartel hiding you out.
No.
But basically the FBI has gotten everyone else in the ring, including his best friend who is like his co-conspirator.
Oh my God, did he turn on him?
I don't know if he turned on him, but they arrested him in, I think, Colombia or something like that. But he was the one who apparently had these contract killers on speed dial.
What?
Yes. According to
the
FBI. It's crazy.
Scary.
It's crazy and scary, and I can't wait to watch 47,000 hours of content around this story.
Yeah, exactly. The doc or a reenactment or a
whatever
limited series.
It's going to be so good.
Wow. Okay. Well, unless it's hard to I don't know where we go from there.
Yeah.
But there is a story that Detroit Pistons star Malik Beasley, which is sort of a sad sentence given how the Detroit Pistons have been recently. Maybe they've gotten better. I haven't checked. I'm going to be honest. Montana Yao filed for legal separation from Malik Beasley. And what is interesting about this is that 4 years ago, Malik Beasley cheated on Montana Yao, I believe, with Larsa Pippen, who is the ex-wife of Michael Jordan's famous teammate, Scottie Pippen.
Yep.
Who was recently dating Michael Jordan's son.
Yep.
And now we don't know who she's dating.
Correct. That's a riddle for you.
That's a Mad Lib if I ever heard one.
Mad Lib right there. That I remember writing about that story many years ago on my newsletter, and being kind of surprised by it. But it's a little bit of a bummer. I feel bad for Montana.
I know.
Seems like a bummer, but I feel like she's probably better off if, their history was like maybe a little bit messy.
I think that's true.
You know what I mean?
I think sometimes, it was time for that to happen. They have a kid together. So, thinking of you guys. But the thing we really have to talk about, Madeline, that I've been dying to get to.
What?
Aaron Rodgers is not employed yet as of this recording.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to Google it because
check. Do a quick check.
Aaron Rodgers. 58 minutes ago, report Aaron Rodgers' decision down to 2 teams, and it won't be Minnesota.
Okay.
Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Giants. But Madeline,
what?
The part of this that I'm dying to tell you is coming. This is a report that I read. Coming off of his split from the Jets, Rodgers' top goal was reportedly to go to the Los Angeles Rams. What have we been saying about Aaron Rodgers?
He needs to follow his astrocartography chart and go to the West Coast.
There are no good lines for Aaron Rodgers if you look at his astrocartography chart going through the East Coast.
No.
And maybe he took our advice and he looked it up and he said, I got to get back out West because that's where my line is the strongest. And now he is stuck with 2 very East Coast teams.
Aaron, do you listen to the Sports Gossip Show?
Or did you just want to be in LA? Because
or do you just want to be in LA?
But I do think that there's still a hope that this man will be employed.
Oh my God. I really hope for our own sanity's sake, but also this podcast's sake, that he stays employed by an NFL team. And it seems likely. It would be amazing if he went to the West Coast, because then, our astrocartography prediction from months ago would come true.
I know. But at least he tried.
That's true.
At least he tried.
A for effort, Aaron.
Do you think, sometimes I really, obviously this goes out, but when we're just doing this in our little studio, aka my dining room, I'm like, and then we'll have a clip.
Yeah.
And it goes pretty viral.
Yeah.
Like our Aaron Rodgers one. And I'm like, do you think he saw it?
Listen, we've had strangers.
Someone close to him probably saw it.
Someone saw it. We know people have seen these clips. And strangers see them and tell us all the time.
Do you think that Aaron Rodgers went and got his astrocartography chart read because he saw that we said he should?
I would love that. If anyone knows the answer to this question, please let us know.
Yeah, I doubt, given how much in the way we've talked about him, someone in his camp would be thrilled to reach out and tell us. But someone's got to know.
Someone's got to know.
Because we could be shaping the history of the NFL.
We could be making history.
From our little seats right here.
Oh my God.
Mastermind. Taylor Swift said that.
Yep.
Anyway, so that's the most exciting thing. There's also been a lot of quarterbacks moving around, which is just about as pure sports gossip as you get. Trades, guys going different places. Sam Darnold is currently, he signed a deal with the Seahawks, so he's not with the Vikings anymore. The Jets signed Justin Fields, who used to be with the Steelers, and Cleveland Brown acquired Kenny Pickett. I don't care about that. And also, Daniel Jones is now with the Colts.
Wow. Everyone's moving around.
For everyone who is like, oh, where are the quarterbacks going? That was for you.
That was for you.
Yeah.
Thank you for including that right at the end there.
Yes, anytime.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Well,
I think that's all we've got.
I think that's all we have.
Thank you all for listening once again. Rate, review, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. We've got a very fun episode coming out on Thursday with Kelsey McKinney.
Yep.
Don't miss it.
It was so good.
And bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.